Welcome back to Her Fantasy Football Podcast, where we love to talk about football while educating you on fantasy. Check us out at herfantasyfootball.com and on iTunes, where you are more than welcome to leave us a 5-star and nice comments. That's always welcome. And also harass us over at Twitter at HerFantasyFB and on Facebook /HerFantasyFootball. I'm your host, Courtney Kirby.
And I'm Ashley Williams.
And I'm Brandon Lee.
And we're very excited to let you all know that we've been very busy lately because we're in talks with ESPNW.
Hey. We're collaborating. We are cross-pollinating.
Yeah, that's Courtney's favorite, the cross-pollination.
Yeah.
ESPNW.
What? The Dubs.
The Dubs.
That's what I'm going to call it. ESPN Dubs.
It's really exciting.
It is very exciting. It's very exciting. So we're going to be working with them shortly, and make sure you hop over there to see what we'll be doing, and you can always come, find our rankings and all of our fun blogs at herfantasyfootball.com as well, okay? And, hey, Hall of Fame game on Sunday. I love watching some football on my TV screen.
Even bad football.
Even Buffalo and Giants. Yeah. Fourth stringers. I don't care. It was still football.
Although how sad was the David Wilson? Did you see that today? How he can't play anymore and he starts crying in the press conf. Oh, I was like, Brandon's like eating every word she said bad about him at this point in time.
It was really sad.
I didn't say anything bad about him as a person. I just didn't understand him going in like the first or second round of the draft last year.
Oh, it's sad. He's a good person. I was going to talk about that later in the show, but yeah, that has nothing to do with the Hall of Fame game other than he plays for the Giants. But Ish did. But he was really handled himself well and made us think highly of football players again after the whole Ray Rice crap last few weeks. So, way to handle yourself, Wilson.
Way to go, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you very much. But the game itself was really fun. I got my girls dressed up in their Broncos jerseys.
Just to get in the mood.
We have. Yeah.
Why not?
You don't have Buffalo jerseys? This is weird, Courtney.
I know. You think I would? I do love my Bills, but no. They were wearing their Peyton Manning jerseys, watching Eli Manning. Yeah, so not that we were cheering for either team. We just wanted to watch some football. So there you go. It was good. Biggest surprise? What do you think the biggest surprise was?
Well, I would say that Robert Woods didn't start, but then ended up being awesome. So him being awesome wasn't the surprise, but I think they're just trying to play around with formation.
It was surprising that he didn't start though, because he was a starter last year, or on the cusp. He was in a lot of packages.
He's a starter, I think.
Yeah, so Peyton Hill's got a lot of love. I liked saying that. I was surprised by that.
Well, I think it also became very clear that Rashad Jennings is a starter and Andre Williams is the handcuff.
Yeah, for sure.
He looked great. I mean, it was against the number 2 string of Buffalo defense.
Yeah.
But still, I was like, good for him. It was nice to see a young running back have good things happen, because of the whole David Wilson thing. So, yeah, it was like, yay! You kind of felt for him. But I think Rashad Jennings is exactly what Tom Coughlin wants.
His face wasn't as red as I was hoping for. He seemed pleased. And I don't like that. I don't like that at Tom Coughlin.
No one does.
Rosy cheeks and anger. That's football.
Yeah. It is football. It is.
That's football.
Yeah.
Did you know that he was the first Jacksonville Jaguars coach? I forgot all about that. Ever.
Really?
Mm-hmm. When they were an expansion team, yeah.
I did not know that.
So it's his fault. All of you.
He's completely separated himself from that.
No.
It's funny you said that because I was thinking, how red was his face then? These are the things.
I wish I could have seen it.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't remember it. I was too young, but I am intrigued.
Well, there is a lot more football to come, ladies. Speaking of which, Thursday, we're recording Wednesday nights. We posted on Thursday, so tomorrow There's 6 more games. So got the Colts versus the Jets, the Patriots versus the Redskins, the 49ers versus the Ravens, the Bengals versus the Chiefs, Seahawks against the Broncos, and the Cowboys against the Chargers. So that's gonna be a good day. Good day.
Those are all on Thursday.
Those are all on Thursday, and then there's 6 more games on Friday and another 4 on Saturday. The boys have Sunday off, and so it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good week to watch some good and bad football.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's some interesting matchups there.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, it'll be fun. I'm excited.
Well, and I think that, reminder of how to watch preseason. A, don't overreact. Don't go crazy town like Andre Williams is now the greatest running back that's ever existed. No.
Right.
That didn't happen. But it is kind of nice to get a better view of who's the handcuff, especially for running backs, because, it's tough territory there. I actually look for people that are playing well more than people that are playing poorly. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not concerned when someone other than Eli Manning, of course, fumbling right away. I was like, classic.
Start of the season.
Classic.
But EJ Manuel not playing great for the Hall of Fame.
He played a lot, though. He played a lot of series.
Yeah, but it kind of was like, I remember Cam Newton had a terrible preseason when he was a rookie, and it was like, is this guy even going to play in the league a year from now? So I'm okay with that. But if someone's playing awesome, it's like, well, then probably they'll make the team.
Yeah.
Which means they're an option.
Right.
And a lot of,
Go ahead.
2 weeks from now that you actually really like it because you actually get to see some starters actually play. And more so that second string you're talking about to figure out who those people are, because otherwise they play one series. Like, what do you get from that?
Yeah, and these boys, a lot of them have new offensive coaches, and so they're learning a whole new offense. A lot of them have new head coaches, so it's just they're working out the kinks. They're trying to figure out, everything. So don't freak
out.
As Brandon said, Sammy Watkins didn't catch a ball. That doesn't mean that Sammy Watkins isn't going to catch balls.
He's terrible.
It's terrible.
It's awful.
Over.
Don't draft him.
Over before it began.
Over
Goodbye.
before it began. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. A little Genevieve action.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
It's really bad. Well, last show we did the AFC. We spoke about each team in the AFC. This show we're going to do the NFC. We're going to start off with the NFC East.
Woo.
Because who doesn't love to talk about, the best? Absolutely.
The best.
Yeah. He's biased.
There's just a lot of personalities in the NFC East. I think that's what I like about it a lot.
It's a train wreck.
It's a train wreck.
An amazing train wreck. I feel like the NFC East is the Bravo of NFL. It's like the Real Housewives.
Yeah.
Or maybe even worse, when the doctor shows. What's when the doctor girl,
the doctor shows?
Where the women, the wives of doctors, or they're a doctor themselves. Y'all know that doctor, a dentist. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I've never watched those ones.
Doctor, you're a dentist.
Which is surprising because pretty much any bad reality TV
that's your wheelhouse. What are you talking about?
No, not into it.
No?
I was really upset that my Extreme Weight Loss Makeover show wasn't on yesterday because you country fans had to watch your CMAs or whatever it was. All I wanted to watch was some Chris Powell get somebody in shape.
Is that the Denver guy?
He's not from Denver, but they do the show at CU. CU. Yeah, they do the first 3 months at CU. Anyways, so.
Sometime we should assign reality shows to these teams, because I definitely think the Giants or Honey Boo Boo.
Yeah. Honey Boo. Oh, who's going to be 19 Kids and Counting?
Oakland.
Yeah.
Raiders. It's like Honey Boo Boo.
Super trashy.
That was not nice. Don't hate us, Raiders fans. You're not trashy.
I thought you meant don't hate us Honey Boo Boo fans.
Oh, no. No.
I definitely feel like the Patriots are the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Yes.
Upscale for sure.
Absolutely, for sure. I like that. Who would be 19 Kids and Counting?
I was just trying to think who that would be.
Yeah.
It's got to be a team with like crazy committees, right? Where like you can't pick your kid.
Yeah, like
The Saints.
The Saints.
The
Yeah, I was
Saints,
thinking
yeah.
the Saints, or the Panthers. Yeah.
And Jimmy Graham's Jim Bob, or is it right, Drew Brees? That's the one's Michelle.
Yeah, Drew Brees. Yeah, it's so
Mhm.
good. Yeah. Oh.
Because no one remembers the other kids' names. That's like Peter Thomas and all those useless folk.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And now Cleveland is the Kardashians. So.
Oh.
Drama.
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 It's like he took a snap with the first line. This is such great news. I'm like, really?
Stop the presses. Stop.
He took a couple snaps.
I'm so glad we're not doing an AFC show because I cover Cleveland. And I can't today.
Can't do
Today
it. Can't do it. Today's not the day.
is not the day. It's not the day.
Is it the day to talk about the Eagles?
It's always
a
the day.
Yeah.
Talk about the Eagles.
We love the Eagles. It's
Love the
true.
Eagles.
Ooh, ooh. I realized that my AFC teams have literally no one in the top 20. And then my NFC teams are ballin'. So I apologize.
Was that your Eagles dance? I need that one more
Eagles dance?
time.
I don't know.
I want to make sure I could get it in the box, though. I mean, usually it'd be like way elaborate, but you know.
Hold on. I brought something.
Uh-oh.
I'm nervous about this.
This is my last week with this bad boy.
You got to send that away.
Ship it.
This is the official Williams family fantasy football trophy. My father, the patriarch,
Football not included.
won this year, and football not included. I'll take it out. This is just for fun, but there it is. So I have to send it back to him, and I just wanted to one more time rub it in his face.
Show your name. Show your name.
Where am I? Here I am. Brandon Lee?
Brandon Lee.
2013.
Oh, such a surprise win from behind.
No, it wasn't. That was.
Courtney was dominating that whole season until that implosion.
Oh,
No, that
this
was
year,
last-
yeah,
that was
with
last
that,
year,
yeah. The
The
year I
Brandon
won,
Lee
Oh, the year yeah.
the year before last, yes. So I have to send it back to my dad because he gets to keep it now.
We're all just so glad Dad finally won one.
Yeah, he'd never won one.
I get nervous.
He's the guy who introduced us all to football, and he just could not get it done. But I beat him for this. He did get second place the year that I won. I felt almost bad about it. I'm glad I didn't feel that bad.
Way to rub that in his face. I like it.
I just wanted to bring it in because I think the Philadelphia Eagles will take all of you to trophy glory.
Bold
I
statement.
tied it in.
Tie it in. See that full circle. There's a context clue there where you're going with that.
Thank you. Thank you.
I liked it. I
Uh-huh.
liked it. Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. So, yeah, I love Eagles. I'm going to love a couple of these teams a whole lot, so get ready. But as far as updates, injuries, what have you, the only big injury isn't really that big. Riley Cooper is sidelined with a foot injury for the week. He's doubtful for the first preseason game, but he probably would have only played 5 seconds anyway, so whatever. Guys you shouldn't draft. Well, I mean, the hype continues for Zach Ertz. You know, the Philly Mag wrote that he's going to be the most utilized pass-catching weapon on the Eagles in the red zone.
Come on now.
Okay.
Philly Mag.
I don't know. I think I enjoy Zach Ertz. I just want to point out Brent Selleck is still on the team. And last year, well, I mean, people are like acting like he doesn't exist, like he's the invisible man.
Because he just blocks. That's what he does. He's a great blocker. He's a great blocker.
Yeah, but that's why he's actually good in the red zone. Because what happens is no one covers him, and then he just turns around and goes.
Yeah, he does the rollout. Yeah, he's good for the end zone.
So
that was like right near your face. I loved it.
For our podcast listeners, I'm just making a throw the ball at my face gesture, which I don't think is probably the best spot. But anyway,
on that note, you can catch our show on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
If you're wondering why, we're having a lot of fun here, so please.
We're a little tired. We're a little sleep deprived this week. We're sorry.
Totally loopy.
We're sorry.
There are going to be props, there are going to be dances, and that's how we're staying awake and having a great time, people. So anyway, last year he was a rookie, Zach Ertz, 36 receptions, 469 yards, and 4 touchdowns. So if he's the #1 red zone target, I'm hoping that the Eagles will get more than 4 touchdowns next season. So
you're hearing it now. Jeremy Macklin's only going to get 200 yards.
Ooh.
I'm joking. I'm saying, Ertz would have to get more than that. That's crazy. It's crazy talk.
It's not.
Yeah, there's kind of like up and down about Macklin in camp. I haven't figured all of that out yet. But you know what? It's going to be fine, guys. It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
It's going to be fine. Also going to be fine, Jordan Matthews, rookie wide receiver from Vanderbilt, having a great camp. Yay, we like that. And he's kind of the only rookie wide receiver I would possibly get, because you know that I'm against rookie wide receivers, because they're usually still getting used to the playbook. It's tough. I've been saying this every week. But Jordan Matthews is actually going so late, he actually might be a value pick, because he's not getting the hype that Brandon Cooks, Sammy Watkins, Mike Evans, like those guys are all going way before Jordan Matthews. Now he's getting a little more hype now, so this is more like if you have a draft coming up right now, which I did a draft last weekend, so you never know. But yeah, so he's kind of taking the place of Deshaun. I don't know. Deshaun got 82 catches last year, 1,302 yards, 9 touchdowns. That's not going to happen for Jordan Matthews. So don't listen to like, oh, I'm going to look at his numbers and they'll be the same. No, that's not happening. I'm going to
need Jordan Matthews to also open an Instagram account. He's got some big shoes to fill there as well.
Absolutely.
And if he's not hosting barbecues, he's losing.
I want no part of it. Yeah.
None.
It's one of my goals is to go to a Deshaun Jackson barbecue.
I know. Wouldn't it be amazing?
I want to go so bad. I'm like, he always has such good things cooking. Lots of meat.
But he's got like barbecues, and he combines it with like white parties where you have to wear all white, which is the craziest thing ever with a barbecue. And I'm like, I like his style.
It's like he's daring you to drop.
He is. He's like, how clean are you?
Yeah, because you know what? I am not. I will totally be covered in brisket by the time I leave. It's terrible.
I don't even really like barbecue. I'm still like,
yeah. I love Instagram. Way to voyeuristically look in on other people's lives. Anyway, on that note, listen, we've already talked about Foles ad nauseum, that he's a great tier 2 guy. Nothing else really to add there, and we're going to see him in preseason. Great. Not Peyton Manning. Will get more than 2 interceptions. Yeah, okay, but he's still going to be great. And then obviously you draft McCoy. And the only thing that we really debate about is whether or not McCoy is #1 or if Jamal Charles or Adrian Peterson's #1. So that's a good problem to have.
Absolutely.
And don't be worried about this Darren Sproles business.
No.
Darren Sproles is there to mix it up, but don't. He's know what they have in their
touches away. No.
The best thing about Darren Sproles is that he makes the defense confused, which just opens it up for everybody else on the offense. It's only going to help the wide receivers and McCoy. So.
And they're a run-first offense, and they run a ton of plays, and every once in a while McCoy needs to breathe.
Absolutely.
That's okay. I want him to breathe. That's fantastic.
And quick. I mean, they got so much offense too, and they're so insanely quick with their offense.
Yeah,
don't worry about it. Plenty of touches going around.
Just thought I'd put
that sounded dirty, right?
It did. A lot of touching.
A lot of touches. Plenty of touches going around.
I really like it.
I like that. Speaking of touchy,
the Dallas Cowboys. Thus far they've had 18 injuries this training camp.
Though.
Yeah. And a lot of them are on the defense.
Though.
There's concussions, there's groins, there's hamstrings.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, there's just personality disorders. There's a bunch going on in Dallas. So let's just start off with the defense being really banged up. They lost Ware. That's not going to help the situation with the Cowboys this year. But the offense is really good. They have lots of weapons. Okay, you're going to draft Des Bryant. We have him ranked 4th. I don't need to explain to you why you're going to do it. I know he's obnoxious, but when it comes to fantasy,
yeah,
you take the good with the bad, and he is going to be one of your fantasy husbands for sure. Tony Romo is, we have him ranked 9th, but he's got like injury alert going on here. He's got some back surgery this offseason, and he's kind of a little slow to be back to Mr. Romo. So I'm not saying don't draft him. He's still great. He's a low-end quarterback one, if not a really good backup. So
I almost dropped him below our It's Complicated guys, but we had just talked about that. But because of the injury, because I'm like, when is this guy coming back?
Right.
Supposedly he's fine. We're told they're just being cautious, and that's probably true because he came back from surgery last year too, and he was fine. But yeah, I'm kind of debating. I feel like I have one more week of tolerance on this
before he gets dropped.
This is my hangry warning. You have 15 minutes to get me food.
Right. Yeah. Well, the thing is that he's got so much of an offense around him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Terrence Williams, we have him ranked 33rd. I like him a lot, Romo likes to throw him the ball. So I think that he's a good guy to get on your roster. You can get him at an appropriate time. Then you have DeMarco Murray for your running back. We have him ranked 6th. I mean, in PPR, I just love him. He's going to get the ball a lot, which means Tony Romo's throwing them. But, he opportunity to have a great year. So it's hard for me to say try to go elsewhere, but there's a lot of good guys around that second tier. You might want to choose instead of Romo if you can. If he scares you. And then they went tight end. I mean, he's 32 years old. He's not getting any younger. Although he has a worst season since 2006 in receptions and yards, he had the second best year in touchdowns. So it kind of, evens itself out. And we're talking tight ends here. It gets dicey. And I just don't want to forget, Dan Bailey, you're the man.
Dan Bailey's the man.
He really is. You never get mad at him, and that's so rare with our fantasy relationships we've got going on here. So
they're volatile. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of volatile,
do we have Dallas ranked last in defense? Oh, I'm sorry.
Close.
Dallas, I don't think it's ranked last, but it's like the bottom 4, I think.
It's not someone you're drafting.
No.
We should take a bet on who will be the worst defense.
Worst defense. Last time we did this, somebody drafted a whole team of the AFCs.
It was amazing. Thank you, Andrew. Amazing.
Andrew's amazing. We're going to do a whole article on it. But he did actually draft a team made up entirely of the AFC East, and it didn't look terrible. That's what was
crazy. No, it didn't.
Yeah.
All right. There were a lot of Patriots.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Obviously. Speaking of Patriots, they were down practicing with the Redskins the last 3 days. And I guess the combination of RG3 and Tom Brady made it rather apparent RG3 has a little bit of work to do. I mean, granted, that's all it took, guys. That's all it took was Tom Brady at practice. And they were like, No,
something doesn't fit here.
In fairness, you're going up against
fair,
like a first-round Hall of Fame, come on. He's going to be a first-ballot Hall of Famer. So, and he's in his 3rd year. So, but what's interesting is that Gruden, the new coach, he's not babying him at all. Like, at all. It is quite honest, apparently, at the camp. So, which I think is actually a good thing for him, coming off that weird situation he had before last season and how it caused a lot of friction in the locker room. They seem to be rallying around him again right now, so that's good. That's encouraging. So I like that.
It's always weird with Mike Shanahan. It's always weird with Mike Shanahan. You heard it here first. Or 10th.
He's not coaching right now. He's back here in Colorado. We're on the street.
I know. I'm just saying last year I was like, this is a nightmare.
It is not Shanahan. It is RG3 and the owner. It is not Shanahan. It is RG3.
There's some connection there. I mean, do you not remember the ousting of Plummer?
Oh, yeah. Classic.
In the most awkward timing ever, an AFC Championship game. Come on.
Or the Brian Greasy debacle.
Oh, my gosh.
Whenever anyone's like, oh, Broncos fans are spoiled, I'm like, do you remember when? And then I add in Plummer and Greasy. Say, we paid our penance. Thanks.
Yeah. Or when Belichick sent his Trojan little horse named Josh McDaniels into the Broncos organization to blow us up.
Collusion.
He's so sneaky on every level, Belichick.
Oh, man.
Every time. Every single one of his assistants that goes to go head coach somewhere, they actually fail miserably and blow up the organization. I really think it's a master plan.
And then they go back.
Like, you know in South Park where they have the movie with Saddam Hussein and the devil and their lovers? I feel like Belichick's he's kicking in the corner, just watching them and laughing, being like, who's boss? He's
actually above that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't play that game. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, anyway, I like Gruden. It's interesting because he's really kind of a pass-first kind of coach. He did really good stuff with, Andy Dalton last year. So he, helped him score a pretty nice little deal. But I'm going to be intrigued to see how he does as far as catering to the strength of the players that he currently has. Because it's different if you've got a certain strategy and you've got the players for it. Then, RG3 and Andy Dalton couldn't be two more different quarterbacks. At all. I'm kind of intrigued to see how that's going to go. It's kind of camp stuff. And so I'm interested who you should draft, obviously. Mr. Instagram himself, Deshaun Jackson. Happy dads. Yeah.
He can't quite do the eagle dance anymore, which is sad because he's no longer an eagle. I know. So it's like closed palms.
I'm intrigued to see what he's going to do as a Redskin, though. Gotta get feisty. What's great about him is that he's a good enough player. He doesn't need I don't think he's going to need a whole lot of chemistry initially with RG3 because he's just going to make plays happen. Chemistry would be great, but he's still going to be good even if there's a little bit of a slow uptake with RG3. So I like him. Garcon's the one that I'm really interested in. So he's looking really solid at camp. It's pretty expected. And he did lead the league last year with the receptions with 113 and targets 184. But I don't think he's going to get the same kind of production this year. Don't get me wrong, he's good, and you should draft him. He's a top receiver. But I just don't think it's even possible. If you've got Jackson on the team, also I want to mention they have Andre Roberts on the team now. You've got Jordan Reed. Hopefully he'll be healthy. I don't know, guys. I'm undecided. I'm undecided on it.
If Cousins comes in, which great handcuff people, there's a possibility,
There's Courtney's hatred. I love it.
I don't know. I feel like Garcon might be opened up by the fact that Deshaun's there, taking away a lot of the defense. You have to cover him, and not only that, but frankly, RG3 is a little bit better at the long pass than the short pass.
You got to cover both. You got to cover both sides, and you got Andre Roberts too. So you got Jordan Reed.
RG3 is really good at those Hail Marys because those take a lot of skill.
No, they have said that the focus has been off his knees.
Sassy pants. Sassy pants. Ooh. I'm putting on my pants now. You can't even see it. This is fun.
Oh my goodness. I like it though.
Oh, I want to take mine off.
What is this?
Away from RG3.
You want to take your pants off?
I just want to take my sassy pants off.
Like you get hot over there?
I was like, well, we can't see you, so.
Like, I'm about to get hot. I'm talking about my little pumpkin Alfred Morris.
Ooh, I do love
I love him.
I love him. Who doesn't love him? So we have him ranked 15, which is actually a little low compared to a lot of sites. But I didn't want to have all my love and affection bump his rankings up. So I was like, I'll throw him down a little bit. But he's a top 10 back in terms of touches, which I like too. So he gets a lot of touches, and he was essentially the entire offense last year. And I actually really like the fact, and some people have been asking him, are you nervous with the addition of Deshaun Jackson that you're not going to get the kind of same production that you were? And he's like, no. If anything, it's going to open up my game. I like the fact that it's not going to be all about me. And I think it's going to really do dividends for him. I think he's going to have a great year.
Definition of guy you want to cheer for.
Yeah. Right. Pumpkin, I love him. And everyone's called a security blanket. Jordan Reed is kind of the security blanket for RG3. I like him. He's explosive. He's smart, but there is the whole stability issue. So he was out 7 games last year, and 6 of them were due to concussion. Do you remember that was like the concussion that just wouldn't go away?
Yeah.
So I do like him. We have him ranked 10, so that would, in general, with a standard 12-team league, put him as your top receiver, or top tight end. I would just say draft another one because he is injury prone, but I do like him. So, do what you got to do. And then RG3, I won't get into because Courtney's already got her pants on or off, whatever she's got on with her pants. He's a risky pick. He's really risky. If you're at the end of your snake draft and you want to take him on the quarterback, go for it. But I like him. He won't be as bad as he was last year, but there's better options.
That's better.
Better options, yeah.
We kind of discussed the Giants a little bit. We discussed the David Wilson sad day. By the way, he was 23 years old, so for him to
He's only 23.
He's only 23, and his quote was, "I lived my dream. A lot of people only get to dream their dream. I lived that dream."
Oh,
tears.
Very sad.
It's very sad. It was like, oh my gosh. I was watching ESPN, and the lady who was leading the conversation was like, that took everything out of me to not start crying during this. So, moving on.
He's like, I want a family, and I can't wait. I want to live for that. I'm just like, oh, you're adorable. Why aren't you age appropriate?
No. Totally not age appropriate.
No.
I think it's lovely that he got to kind of have a moment to say goodbye, and I think he's totally right when he was also saying like that he's just glad he got to walk away from the game, literally, and I think it sounds like it was that dire. So in a way, great, congratulations, right?
The spinal injury, I mean, hey.
You don't mess around with that.
No.
Mm-mm.
No. And it's nice that the doctors were honest with him instead of letting him play and, having that permanent injury. So, it's just a sad day. I mean, it was totally sweet and inspiring, I'm sure, for the team. So,
maybe he'll be a coach.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of things you can do with football other than play football. Maybe he'll be a fantasy analyst.
I was going to say, he should be on our show.
We should invite him.
Yeah. We have a job for you.
Yeah. How are you with stats? We need an intern.
Yeah.
We need an intern.
He's an appropriate age for an intern.
Yeah. Fresh out of school. Perfect.
It's good. Great. Who's not great? Eli Manning. No. We ranked him 27th. Don't do it. I don't need to get into it. If all of a sudden he becomes amazing, he'll be on the waiver wire for you to pick up halfway through the season. It's fine. We're moving on. Rashad Jennings, as we said, we love Jennings. We think Coughlin loves Jennings. It seems like this is a good little love relationship. We were excited when he left to go there, so nothing negative about them. And he doesn't fumble.
Yeah.
So there's that. That's
Yeah.
kind of big. It's kind of big. We mentioned Andre Williams. Okay, we have him ranked 52nd. Okay, he won preseason game.
Is that your favorite? Like one game happens and someone literally jumps 30 spots.
I know.
What? It's only been one game.
Yeah, and I love it. He feels totally confident because, I know for rookies, they get scared because the NFL moves so much faster and the plays are harder. But it's a new offense for everybody, and it seems like, he's finding his holes. He's having a good time. He's enjoying himself, and that's important, especially for running back's confidence. They need that.
Did you see that hit that he took?
Where he bounced backwards?
Yeah. It looked like, I think they were called Popples.
Like
remember
a rag doll?
80s,
Yeah.
that 80s toy that when you poked it curled into a little ball?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those are weird.
yeah,
Those are
right?
weird.
I'm much younger than you. I don't know what you're talking about.
I can't.
So there you go. Plays again. Yeah. She's all like 4 years younger than you, and
yeah,
decades difference.
So he gets like popped, and then like Andre Williams literally was like,
like a roly-poly, like back in your hole.
Aww.
Yeah, it was like, but he held onto the ball. But I was like,
Lord.
and that's your first NFL hit. He seemed fine, but it just was really funny looking on the film. I was like, oh, there it is.
Oh. And he's good. He's good to go. So with David Wilson gone, he's a viable option late in the draft.
Good handcuffed, yeah.
Good handcuffed. Victor Cruz, we have him ranked 17th. I like Victor Cruz as a person. And he's a great wide receiver. Don't get me wrong. There's a new offense. The coach says he's going to get the ball to him a lot, 100 times. So in PPR, he's a great pick. But for some reason, the Giants seem just a little too unknown with receivers being able to catch Manning's balls and Manning being able to get the ball out fast enough. So I think there's people around him that I would rather pick, but Victor Cruz is, he's still Victor Cruz. He can get open. He's the lawn ball kind of guy. So there's a potential of him having, big plays, and not against him. Ruben Randall, 37th. Love him. I think he's a great, worth fantasy. You can get him later in the draft. He's, worth his money kind of thing. So for a wide receiver 3, 4, I'm into him. And do not draft a tight end from the New York Giants. Don't do it.
You won't even know who they are anyway.
Nope. No, I didn't even write their names down. Don't do it.
That was my favorite last year. Corey just wouldn't even rank people. She's like, no.
No.
I'm not acknowledging that you play for a team.
No, because you don't. Just because you're on the field doesn't mean you're actually playing.
I want that job. I just make lots of money and I don't do anything.
Seriously.
That's blocking or whatever. For fantasy purposes, it's not worth it.
Yeah, good. Great. Well, what is working in the NFC North, Brandon? What's going on with Green Bay?
Ooh, we got the sassy pants. We got the sassy hat. We got the sassy shirt. I'm into you today.
I'm so cool.
You are cool.
Ooh.
Oh.
Props.
I will myself.
Oh, man.
Sunglasses at night, people. Well, the Green Bay Packers. So here's the deal. After a terrible year for injuries, it looks like the Packers are pretty healthy this camp, knock on wood.
Yay!
All things wood. Who you should and shouldn't draft. Clearly, Aaron Rodgers is an elite guy already, but now that the reports are saying that the Packers want to run 75 offensive plays a game this season. To give you an idea, the Broncos averaged the most plays per game, and it was 72.1. So by the way,
more than the Eagles, even?
Yeah.
Ah.
Well, it was nuts.
That was football on steroids.
Whoa. Yeah. Also, ESPN's Bob Holtzman reported that Aaron Rodgers is doing yoga now, and he's quite flexible.
Oh, getting limber. Is that because of Olivia Munn? Huh? She's talking a little Bikram?
She seems healthy.
She does seem healthy. So good for you, Olivia. You keep him in that hot Bikram room.
Woo! The collarbone's healed. Go for it. Love him. Jordy Nelson signed a big contract. That's nice.
Hey.
He and Cobb, we have them ranked, 10 and 11? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're no-brainers, so get that going. Eddie Lacy, also a no-brainer. So you want to do that, and then James Starks is his handcuff. Although Tejuan Harris is having a nice camp. I mean, he's interesting later in the season, maybe, but he'll be on waivers. But so it's kind of he's one of those names that I'm going to say pause. People are going to say he's being great. That's fine. Pause. Push pause.
He'll be there.
He'll be there. And if he's not, people will draft him and then drop him week 1. Yeah, because he's not going to get play unless someone gets hurt. which would be very sad. So don't draft any of the tight ends. I think this is our theme. By the way, we try not to actually dislike tight ends as people, but it's really hard to
it's not our fault
players.
Yeah, that they're not getting us fantasy points.
And their teams just aren't using them that way.
And yet, we love kickers. We hate tight ends, but we love kickers on this show, apparently.
It's the truth of fantasy.
It's a thing. Well, kickers are so much less frustrating. It's kind of like you just kind of go, oh, well, it is what it is. But with tight ends, you're like, are you serious? 0 points?
Yeah.
So here's the deal with the Green Bay Packers. It's all up in the air. Early on, people loved this guy named Richard Rodgers. Now there's buzz about this undrafted free agent, Justin Perillo. Andrew Corliss was actually the starter last year. He's still there. So we don't know who these people are. Just don't.
Corliss wasn't bad last year either. He's nothing to write home to mom about.
Well, it was hard because Rodgers was out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to say about the guy. That's what I'm saying. Like, literally, I don't know what to say about any of these people. I'm sure they're lovely. I want nothing to do with them on a fantasy team. If it says Green Bay in the tight end category, I will not be drafting.
I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing it. Jarrett Boykin is kind of like dropping a lot of passes at camp. This is one of those things you don't want to freak out about, but also this is Devontae Adams. He's a rookie wide receiver from Fresno State. He's putting up some serious competition for this wide receiver 3 spot. So I would just keep your eye on it. It's just something fun to watch during the preseason. But just so you know, I mean, there were 5 games last year where Jarrett Boykin put up over 80 yards, which is 8 points from a wide receiver 3 or flex guy. That's not hideous. But he only had 3 touchdowns all season, so it's a thing.
But again, no Rodgers.
And that's what I'm saying. It's so hard to assess any of these guys because there was no Rodgers last year, but just things to think about. None of them are terrible picks. They're almost like the Eagles, where I would say draft them all.
Almost.
Draft them all. Get them all. I like it. How about the Lions, Ash?
We're on to Courtney's favorite.
Love them.
So first, this will be a really random little diatribe. But when I first saw that the Detroit Lions were practicing at Wayne State College, I was like, oh. And then I wasn't our college. So we grew up in this little tiny town in Wayne, Nebraska. It's not tiny in Nebraska standards, but
there are 5,000 people in that town.
5,000, including the college, correct?
I believe so.
I partied with a college guy before he moved. Wasn't I like 11 when I moved? It's like now that I think about it, I was like, that's pretty messed up. What's wrong with that guy?
What's wrong with you?
Well, I just wanted to drink, have a fun time. But so we was really excited, and I was like, oh, wah, wah. And I thought maybe they're gonna go to the chicken show. So in our town, they have this amazing thing called the chicken show, which is like right about now too, where people like drop eggs from these crazy cranes and try to catch it without breaking it, which is very hard to do.
And the cluck off.
The cluck off, or the Chippendales that are topless, and then they put a brown paper bag on top of their face with a hole cut out for their nose to come out of, like a chicken.
Yeah, there was the beak contest as well. Who had the best nose?
Best beak. But it turns out they didn't go there, guys.
No. Sad.
Good story. Good
story.
I was so excited. I was like, no. But they did practice at Ford Field. Light.
That was beautiful.
But I'm going to mention that it's been interesting because there's been kind of interesting talks of Caldwell and Stafford combo. I'm really excited for.
Yeah.
Something really great about this calming effect of Caldwell, right?
Right.
I think that's what Stafford needed. I think there was just too much, I don't want to say heat. That makes it sound like sexual, but like
tension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friction. And I don't see that with Caldwell. No, although they have apparently having some very intense practices, but I guess everything's just been kind of a little bit more like, it's perfect. Nice. Yeah. So I'm pretty excited for that. Yoga. Yeah. Although allegedly it's been kind of a boring training camp. That's right. It could be boring.
Well, it's Caldwell. So.
I know. Nothing's going to get crazy. Yeah, you know.
It doesn't get really exciting. God love them.
But their motto this year is finish, which I like. Because the Lions seemed to pay me that team that just couldn't close, right? Like they'd be right there and couldn't close it.
You said finish. I thought you said fish. And I
Me
was
too.
like, I was like, the
Finish.
band?
Yeah.
That didn't make sense to you? Be fish heads? No?
Yeah. It's like,
I was like, do lions eat fish?
Yeah.
I was going a lot of places.
start off with the chicken show and with
they
the
snack
fish.
this year. They're on a snack. No, finish. I feel, and they're like not just finish like the end of a game, but finish every single play, finish your route, finish, all the way through. And that was his big thing, is that they just weren't a team that, got that extra step. And so that's their whole focus of training camp. They're very focused. I'm into it. I think it's good. So I still like Stafford, even though he had like a terrible, huge implosion last year that still has Courtney upset to this day.
You know what? I'm not upset about it. I mean, he completely screwed over my fantasy team.
Yeah, he totally did. He did. But he still finished 7th overall.
But he's still amazing.
Yeah.
Like for some reason I don't hold, harsh feelings towards him. I'm okay. We're cool. We've moved on. We had a moment.
I will never forgive him for what he did to Courtney.
Oh, thanks,
It's all after that snowstorm. It was like, what those numbers don't tell you, because he finished in 7th, was just he had such a strong start, like crazy strong start to the season. Him and Calvin Johnson were just like gangbusters. And then the snow. And then it was just like, done.
Yeah.
That's it. That is it.
Yeah.
We have him ranked 5, though. So I think that's actually doable this year, that he could finish the top 5. I think it's doable.
Absolutely.
So I like him. I did feel like I was cheating on Calvin Johnson this year, because somebody asked me who the hottest player in the NFL was, and for some reason I immediately just like Julio Jones. And I was like, I know.
That is really
I know. But he is really pretty. I mean, but Calvin's a freak in nature, and you're gonna pick him up. Period. He's a given. He's like the top of the top receivers. That's who you're going.
Where do you go with him? When do you pick Calvin? Because he's the number 1 wide receiver to go. So when do you switch over?
Number 6.
I would say, if I was in like the 6 or 7 slot. 8, maybe take a wide receiver running back to back.
I don't think he's going to drop to 8. Do you?
Oh, God, I don't think so.
Right now, I'm seeing that he's ranked 6, his ADP is 6.
We've all been in some weird drafts. Here's the thing about like ADPs and mock drafts, is that if you think people are gonna draft one way, and then you actually get into a draft, and it's just like, whoa, who'd they take? Wait, what?
Right.
You know it's true.
Girl, you know it's true.
Wah, 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 wah.
Ooh, 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 I want Calvin too.
Wow, that was a really nice lead out on that.
Thank you.
But I want to talk.
I'm here all night.
I want to talk about Golden Tate, though. I think he could have a really good year this year. And usually I'm not a Golden Tate fan. I feel like it's a lot of hype. But I like him with the Stafford combo. I think this is a much better position for him, because he was with the Seahawks, and we all know my feelings on the Seahawks. But as far as airing it out, I don't think anybody can disagree with me that Stafford is a far superior quarterback on the long ball than Russell Wilson. So I think that's looking good for Golden Tate, personally. Eric Ebron, this is Brandon's guy. He's a rookie. He's okay. Don't stretch for him. That's all I'm really to say about it. We're all loving up on him.
Over him.
We have him ranked 10.
Where's Fourier?
Way low.
In my life.
Way low.
With Eric Ebron 10? I don't think so.
We have him right 10th, yeah. We do, which puts him like right at the top of at the bottom of that starter list. My big thing is just don't stretch for him, because there is such a huge discrepancy between Jimmy Graham and number 10, even the 5 guy with this, Vernon Davis, Jordan Cameron, whatnot. Such a big leap in between there. Do not stretch. Don't get someone's gonna pick up Vernon Davis. Don't all of a sudden just grab Eric. Like, don't do it.
And there's a plethora of tight ends on Detroit.
Yeah.
It's like they're going to use, every other, no, don't do it. No.
Yeah. And then we had
10, that's a typo. He should be 18.
Did you mean to put him 18?
I'll go in and I'll fix that if that's the problem. Because he's just like, no.
I love that you actually walked away to go get it to double check, to be like, wait a second. Is that where I put him?
I will check this, because that upset me so much.
Severely.
I let things slide this No go.
No go. That'll be fixed by the time this podcast is up. So don't pick him. He's 18. That's where we're going to put him now. And no one has to worry about anything. We're all good.
So I have to tell people that are new to the show, we all rank different positions. So that was Ashley trying to be very nice about the fact that she doesn't rank tight ends and trying not to be like, Brandon's crazy for putting him 10th. Little coverage there. But she didn't. She put him 18.
No. And I was like, that's nuts. That didn't happen.
Double check my work.
Whew, good thing I leave a paper trail. That's right. Like a grandma, I use paper.
Mm-hmm.
She does use paper.
Not trying to save the world. Nope.
Yeah, she doesn't care about trees.
Isn't
that the worst, though, when people walk like, do you have a minute for the environment? And you're like, no, I don't. I don't have a minute for the environment. And I like to make it really uncomfortable once, so I'll be like, I actually hate the environment.
You're mean. You're mean. That's not nice to those poor people who are trying to work.
When I do that, I give them a second of my time. I don't literally just walk up and be like, I hate you, and walk away. I let it be awkward for a second, and I'm like, okay, give me your spiel.
Give me your I'll sign it, whatever.
So hold on. So you make them work for it after you've offended them? And you think that's a good thing?
You know what? We all have to learn how to do sales at some point. So if it's the environment that's helping you, great. I'm not even allowed to open up my door either, because if anyone comes to my door to sell something, I will buy it.
What?
That's not good.
You know when people come to your door and they're like, oh, do you have a minute for childhood obesity or environment? There's always something, and I'm always like, okay.
So how many different religions are you?
Countless.
Countless.
No. I support a wide array of causes. Although I want it to be all anonymous, I'll actually slip them cash. I'm like, I'm even okay if you put this in your pocket. Just please do not put my name on your mailing list, because then you guys will continue to call me. They're like, oh, yeah. Okay, and they still do.
That's awesome.
I know. So now I don't open the door anymore.
That's a great way to end the Detroit Lions spiel.
But just real quick, Joique Bell, Reggie Bush, great. They're gotta get them. They're really, really good. I like them. And they're kind of interchangeable too. We have them 21 and 22. So shoot for them. I like it. It's a good RB2, RB3.
Good. Perfect. Let's talk about real running backs. Chicago Bears.
Forte.
Matt Forte, continually the love of my life. My husband knows about it. It's fine. I love him. However, let's talk about the training camp injury news. Martellus Bennett, what happened? He got suspended for fighting for an undetermined amount of time. You guys, I saw the video. He just basically picked up the guy and threw him on the ground.
That's it?
Yeah, Martellus Bennett is huge, and this guy is not. And he just literally was like,
boom,
boom, just on the ground. And I was like, what?
He was a rookie, right?
Yeah, a tiny little cornerback rookie.
Tiny, who
tried to strip the ball from Martellus Bennett, and Martellus Bennett was like, I think I'm gonna do something to him, and then he did it.
I think I'm gonna body check you to learn a lesson.
Listen, he's on his third team. There's a reason for it, but the Bears need him. I don't think this affects his draft stock. Trestman said they had a good talk today. Although it was funny when someone asked him about it if he was going to get fined. He said, I can afford it.
Everybody, my feeling was it was like a pissing contest over there. He wanted to prove that he's the big man on campus. The coaches wanted to prove, hey, we're here now. We're going to rule the nest. And, it's like, whatever.
The question is, what was the rookie doing, right? Come on now.
Fetal position crying.
Yeah, crying on the floor.
Absolutely.
This cornerback went home and he was looking in the mirror. He's just saying back to himself, I'm the best corner in the game. I'm the best corner in the game.
And gosh darn it, people like me.
People like me.
Oh, man. Okay, so Trestman hates fighting. They all made a statement. They actually ended practice early because it was like, where do we go from here? But listen, Martellus Bennett at career highs last year, 65 catches, 759 yards, 5 touchdowns. Expect the same, but little improvement to no improvement. So don't worry about that. But he's definitely like a backup, the top tier of the backup tight ends, which you know how we feel about tight ends. So that's about the end of that story. So that's where he is. We have him ranked, I think, 11. So here's kind of former sleeper wide receiver Marquez Colston, or Marcus Colston was what I was thinking. Marquise Wilson broke his clavicle.
Those clavicles, man, I tell you.
Yeah, well, everyone was really excited about him being the number 3 guy between after Alshon and Brandon Marshall, but that's tough. So he could return week 3. Not worth drafting.
That's pushing it.
Yeah, good luck, speedy recovery, right? So listen.
He'll be on the waiver. He'll be on the waiver.
He'll be on the waivers, and you know what? He might be worth a waiver pickup week 4. I wouldn't stash him though. I'd like to see him play a little first. Who should you draft? Not draft? Everyone, literally every Bear. Robbie Gould, do it. I would even draft their defense because I think getting Jared Allen is a huge boon, and yeah, I'm into it. So not much to analyze here. Listen, you know Forte is the number 4 guy. Marshall and pretty much Jeffrey, too, elite wide receivers. Cutler's Mr. Upside. Bennett is what he is. And there you go.
Cutler's Mr. Upside?
Mr. Upside. He's got so much upside. It's just like... So, I mean, hopefully... But how can he be bad with this many weapons?
Yeah.
I mean, that is my argument. Like, how bad... It's kind of my thing about Foles, too. It's like, okay, so he's going to have a drop-off. He's not Peyton Manning. Okay, I agree. But how bad can you be when you're in an offensive system that's like borderline genius surrounded by weapons?
RG3.
The floor is so high.
RG3, that's what I was about to say. That's all that kept going through my mind is RG3. Has Pierre
He's going to be
Deshaun.
fine. He's going to be fine. He's going to be great. But he's going to be fine.
Well, anyway, draft Bears.
Bears.
The Bears. The Bears. Well, hate to bring everybody down or not, we're going to talk about the Minnesota Vikings.
You're not drafting that whole team.
No.
Some, though.
No, but some. There's new coaches all over the place in Minnesota, so this has got to help. It's got to help with that team with some chemistry. I like Mike Zimmer. I love me some Nove Turner. Love him. So I'm hoping that this is just going to change the whole dynamic for the Minnesota Vikings, and they're going to be worth something. Now the problem is that we have a little bit of issues with the quarterback situation. My man Matt Castle right now is the starter, but Teddy Bridgewater is also going to be thrown into the game this week to get some first-team reps. So it's kind of up in the air who's going to have the job. So therefore, you're not going to draft either one of them.
No.
Good call.
Don't do it.
Should be on the waivers, too.
They should be on the waiver. So if Teddy Bridgewater gets the starting job and he's amazing all of a sudden, pick him up. I'm not saying he's not good. I'm just saying Minnesota's not good right now. So give him some time to learn the offense. I'll tell you who is good right now, Adrian Peterson.
And always.
He is amazing. There's just no reason why you shouldn't draft him, unless maybe you're pick 1 and 2. Patterson, we have him ranked 21st. To me, this guy's a bit of the unknown. Yeah. He's kind of flashy, and I think people like that. He's fun, and that's exciting. And since there is no other wide receivers on the team, really, who else is going to get the ball? So I guess it's a good pick. I wouldn't reach for him.
No.
There's a lot of talented wide receivers around that 20 cup of ranking that I would feel more comfortable with. But
I don't know if I even feel comfortable with him as my number 2. Like 3, okay. 2, no.
He's going kind of high, so I wouldn't stretch for him. I wouldn't, I wouldn't put on my yoga pants for that.
Touche. Nope.
Greg Jennings, the other wide receiver, I guess is kind of a nice sleeper. I mean,
I think
wide
so.
receiver 4. We have him ranked 54th. I think you can get him for really great value, and he's going to get the ball. So, but who I absolutely love on the Minnesota Vikings is Kyle Rudolph. I love him. I really love him. We have him ranked 8th. Norv Turner loves his tight ends, and he wants to use Rudolph all the time, and I just am all about it. He's 100% back from last year's injury. I'm all in on this guy.
And sometimes weird quarterback controversies are the best thing in the world for tight ends, right? Because
absolutely, especially if you're going to have a rookie quarterback come in. He's the go-to guy. Get the ball out of my hands. Get the ball out of Love him. Love him. And Blair Walsh. I just love his name. We have him ranked 9th for kickers, and
he sounds so proper, doesn't he?
He does.
Blair Walsh.
Or
like a character from 90210. Is it Brandon Walsh? Is that his name?
Yeah, something like that.
And
right?
Brenda.
Brenda.
Crazy
yes.
Brenda.
Crazy Brenda. My favorite.
It's probably the first time I was like, yeah, there's crazy people out there. She's crazy.
Oh,
right?
I like it. I love it. So let's switch gears to the NFC South, the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah. Talk about elite. Drew Brees.
Drew.
Unfortunately, though, he sat out the squad scrimmage due to a strained left oblique. Supposedly it's not serious. Don't worry. Whew. Goodness. Because did you know that he's thrown over 5,000 yards for the last 3 seasons in a row?
Boom.
I know. He did it quietly last year, too. I feel like last year he didn't seem that productive, and he was still a top quarterback.
Oh, yeah. He also had 10 or more games with over 300 yards in the last 3 years in a row. I just want to make sure you know what the definition of elite is, so that when people are like, no, you want to take Giovanni Bernard before you take your first quarterback. No. If Drew Brees is available, if you already have taken an elite guy that's a wide receiver or a running back or Jimmy Graham, he's your next thing. So I'm into it. Kenny Stills also is day-to-day with a quadricep injury. He went down on Friday. That's not good because they need reps. But anyway, who you shouldn't draft. Brandon Cooks looks good. Looks good, but Stills out. So the problem is that he's a rookie wide receiver. I'm gonna repeat that ad nauseum. But I don't know.
You don't hate him.
Yeah.
Those are warm words for any player other than Drew Brees or Jimmy Graham on the Saints.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's warm.
But I feel like Kenny Stills, I also thought was kind of this pseudo maybe sleeper last year, and he only had sprout
one good game, one really good game.
Yeah, it's hard to get excited. But surprise, reports from camp indicate that the running backs are going to split time.
Get out of town.
Oh, no way.
No.
You guys, I'm shocked. So anyway, Pierre Thomas is kind of going late, though, if you're in a PPR league. He did have the league high 77 passes last year, but only 3 well, he had 5 touchdowns total, 2 rushing, 3 receiving, but still hard to trust. Other than that, stop it. Stop the Mark Ingram talk. Stop the Kerry Robinson talk. Take someone who's not in a committee heinous land. That's all I have to say about the Saints. Committee heinous land. 19 kids and counting.
19 kids and counting.
Yeah. Never take a Saints running back. There's a few cardinal rules in fantasy football. That's one of them. Don't do it. Unless super, super late for value. But never, not realistically, don't do it. Tampa!
Super Bowl champs 2015!
Champs! Yeah.
Cannot get on this ride.
No. So every year I pick a team for no good reason. My reason this year is just I love Lovie Smith.
Lovie.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't love Lovie? But, yeah, what's great about this team is that they're either going to be awesome or so bad.
Epic fail.
Epic.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited to see how it's going to play out. Yeah, it could be really ugly. Could be awesome. So I don't know. And they're only
Thank
1
you
week
for
into
Ashley.
camp. Yeah. That's my analysis, guys. It's either going to be good or bad.
The analysis from Ashley.
Good or bad. No. So,
Good.
no, but they're not like one of those teams where it's like middle of the road. Like it's going to be like either like awful or good. I don't know.
Yeah. So this time it's breaking news.
Breaking news. But actually, McCown is looking really good in camp. Really good in camp. Like his team's rallying against him. People even said that he's looked tremendous. Like who says that these days? I love it. And they're bringing back the Tampa 2 defense. I don't know. I'm so excited. It's something like nostalgic about how they should always run the Tampa 2.
I can't believe they ever don't. They're Tampa.
Know. Right? I mean, a whole
tricky.
defense. I mean, granted, it's named after the city, but like, why would they go away from that? But they're bringing it back. Questions whether they actually have the defensive chops to pull it off. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see. You never know. So who you should actually draft and not draft? Controversy, of course. There's two schools of thought on the whole keeping a player fresh, right? Some will say, oh, they're going to be more productive because they're going to have fresh, legs, they're going to be rested. And then there's the other side that's like, yeah, but they're getting like way less touches. So Doug Martin is kind of falling into this right now. So I'm nervous because they want to keep him fresh. And he has a really solid core group of guys behind him in Rainey and James and Sims.
Yeah.
Although good, if thinking as far as like handcuff styles and again the situational players, this is actually a really great team. They're really, really deep. So this is a team where people actually do play. It's not like a handcuff that you honestly have to wait for someone to get injured for this person to play. Like these people will actually play in the game. So keep that in mind, because they actually look really good. So and again, I like McCown as a QB too. I'm gonna pick him as your starter, but I like him a lot. And he's got Vincent Jackson and Mike Evans, which I think might be one of the best duos of the year. I'm pretty excited for it. Again, if they're awesome and not terrible.
Over the years.
Maybe. I'm serious. You don't think they could be really good?
No, I do. I mean, I love Tampa Bay. I hope they're really good, but I mean,
I would say top 10
duos out there.
There's a lot of good duos.
Pierre and Deshaun. I mean, hello.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think Mike Evans is gonna be great. I think that's gonna be a fun pickup. Good rookie wide receiver.
Good rookie, yeah, and he's working with a vet, with Vincent Jackson, which I like. I like that. Brandon,
I am wearing a Journey T-shirt, so don't stop believing.
But I like.
There's no bigger vet than McCowan. I mean,
McCowan's got this kind of like vibe about him. Almost, I don't want to say like Manning, but there's this kind of like fatherly vibe. I don't know what it is about him. Like coaching, teacher quarterback.
It's a comforting.
Yeah.
No threat. Yeah.
It's good for Ricky.
Yeah. I like it.
Thank God he doesn't play for Caldwell. Everyone would be taking naps.
The most boring game ever. They would just like talk about plays. Like, we'll just chat about what we would do.
No, they're both really nice guys. It's just funny.
Yeah.
They're so soothing. It would be like listening to or being at yoga.
Yoga would probably be more exciting. Let's be honest.
Very nice.
Well, the Carolina Panthers. Speaking of wide receivers, there are none. So you're good there. Just I'm just going to go right into who you're going to draft and not going to draft because training camp for them isn't like a huge deal. Cam Newton's a little beat up. Who isn't, So, we have him ranked 8th. I love Cam, regardless of the fact that he doesn't have any wide receivers, and it's his ankle he's injured with, and he's a running back quarterback.
Kind of a problem.
Yeah. But
just tape it up. Walk it off.
Yeah, he has finished in the top 4 for the 4 years he's been in the NFL. And although I don't think he's going to finish in the top 4 this year due to the fact they traded away all of their wide receivers, I still think he's going to be in the top 10. So, Cam's Cam. He's still going to be Superman. You're fine. Don't reach for him this year. Don't reach for any of the running backs. D'Angelo Williams is the highest ranked at 35th. This is an ideal committee, running back by committee situation as well. I know we're huge Jonathan Stewart fans.
Huge.
Don't
Jonathan Stewart for president.
Right. So basically, there's 3 people you're going to draft from Carolina. There is Cam. There is the Carolina's defense. Hello, we have them ranked 2nd. Must have. Love them. And then there's Greg Olsen. Tight end.
Love your Greg Olsen.
I do love myself some Greg Olsen. We are really hard on tight ends, but Greg Olsen is legit. He had over 800 yards and 6 touchdowns, and he's the perfect second-tier tight end guy. And by second, it's really third because Jimmy's one by himself. True. But they have nobody else to throw the ball to. So who's Cam going to throw the ball to? Olsen.
Kelvin Benjamin, another rookie wide receiver.
Right.
The guy drives me crazy. It all drives me crazy.
Into the top 50 at 49. So, yeah.
We should challenge someone to also draft a team of all rookies. See how that plays out.
Ooh, that's mean.
That's not nice. That's not nice.
Do you think that is worse than the AFC East?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably true.
They're actual professional football players that play in the AFC East.
I don't have time for the environment.
Do you got time for the Falcons?
I do.
Right now. Okay.
Okay, Hard Knocks, again, thank you for Hard Knocks existing. Amazing. And they are getting feisty. Right? It's like they're trying to completely forget last year happened, which they've even said, like, we don't talk about last year. But, like, fights are breaking out all the time. F-bombs are being dropped, which are my favorite. It is ruckus.
We know.
I know. It's hard for me to, like, not cuss on here. But
the coaches aren't suspending for fights. They're encouraging these fights.
Yeah, well, some rookies stepped out of line, and a couple of vets definitely knocked them in their place, like literally knocked them in their place. And some rookie dropped a ball, so they all had to do like 50 burpees after practice. Which burpees are maybe literally the worst thing ever. Especially if it's on like Brandon, like bust her shoulder out just with like one attempt of a burpee.
And at the end of practice, it's like
right. It's the worst. But did you guys see? By the way, Harry Douglas with the female deodorant?
No.
So they were doing they're showing around his house, and he's like showing his bathroom, and he's got like some Tide and some soap, and then he like grabs his female deodorant. He's like, "Don't mock me, man, but I love female deodorant. I love it. It smells so fresh." He's like, he literally wears female deodorant.
Love that.
Yeah,
love that.
Right? It's so weird. Now I like him even more.
I used to wear men's cologne.
That's weird.
What?
I
like men's cologne.
Javon Musk.
Were you wrong? Fill that on. Feel like you had a boyfriend. You always had a boyfriend. You didn't need that crap. Brandon's never been single a day in her life. She likes to pretend like she was single. She's like, yeah, the 2 months back when I was like 20. I think I was 20.
Right.
Anyway.
Maybe it's the male. Maybe it's the male cologne.
Yeah, that's where I'm going wrong. I should start putting male cologne on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, clearly. But Matty Ice, I'm excited for him. I think he's going to actually be really good this year. And I'm not alone here on this thought process about Matty. I mean, he actually, while having literally no one on the team, and they're playing a big giant game of who can slam my face in the ground first, he's almost 15th overall. So, I mean, the guy had 0 protection last year. 0.
Yeah.
And no one to throw to. And they've kind of remedied that issue with the offensive line. We've got Julio Jones back. We've got Roddy White, Harry Douglas. So, I feel good. He's got his weapons back. He should be one of your weapons. We've got him ranked 7th. Get serious about Matty Ice. I like him. Steven Jackson, I don't like.
What?
He's hurt, too.
I know, this is Carney. Carney has like this weird soft spot for Steven Jackson.
I do.
Seems nice.
I'm sure he's delightful. But he's 31st in our rankings, and he's the highest of all the Atlanta running backs. So, I mean, I'm just saying, good value at the end of the rounds if you want to get Jacquizz Rodgers or Devontae Freeman or Steven Jackson, but you can't be getting this guy as your RB2 or borderline RB3. Like, you got to be thinking flex tops with these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, right? Come on, Courtney, admit it.
Oh yeah, no.
Flex tops.
Like them.
I'm not even gonna discuss tight ends because I'm pretty sure they didn't even fill Tony Gonzalez's roster spot with hopes he's gonna decide to come back again.
Oh, Levine Twilio.
I know. And I'm super excited for Julio Jones. He's back. For people that are new to fantasy football, you're going to look at statistics and not see him on there. It's because he was hurt last year. But trust us, we've got him ranked 6th. Julio! He's every bit of 6th position. He's big. He is fast. He can leap over everybody. He is
sexy. Oh, sorry. Is that not where you were going?
6.
But
6.
But Roddy White is also a very good receiver. He's gotten a little bit older in the years, and last year he was very hurt, and basically they used him for half a season as a human decoy. It's literally, he would just stand there. It was very irritating, and that's not going to happen this year. So it may actually open things up even for, again, like Harry Douglas, who I think could be a good pick when you're in that kind of 13th, 14th, 15th round, and you're thinking, who can I pick? Because he's really low. He's got a lot of upside because he did perform extremely well last year when Julio was hurt. So I like him. And he wears women's deodorant. Smelling fresh and clean.
Bonus.
So clean.
I like him. Think about him in the lower rounds. Literally, he's a good pick.
Good. Who's going to be a good pick in the NFC West, Ashley? St. Louis Rams. Bam. I love the Mason Rams.
Right? I just like the Rams defense. That's really all I really like.
Yeah.
And they're fighting with their own teammates even too, like literally getting mean. So I like my defense. I like my defense is mean in training camp even, right? Get a good start. They're looking really good now, and I'm really glad that there's not a whole lot of Michael Sam chatter anymore. It's died down, right?
Right.
We're playing football. He's getting reps on the special teams, doing some blocking. He's doing fine. It's not like the whole thing is all about Michael Sam. So I'm happy for that. Bradford's actually playing really well, too. So he's even gone on to say that this is the best he's ever thrown. We'll see. We will see. But
he was doing well until he got hurt.
Yeah,
he had like
but he
3
always
good
gets
games,
hurt.
1 mad game, and then it went down.
That's my big issue with him. That's why he's always pretty low in the rankings, too, because he's always hurt. You know, it's a tough one. But he's got some interesting targets in Kenny Britt and Tavon Austin. I use the word interesting again because they're those kind of potential guys, you know?
The whole offense is a potential.
Other than Zach Stacy. Zach Stacy is solid. So with Zach Stacy, I mean, there's all this talk, you know, about Trey Mason, and I like Trey Mason. He's very talented. And he's going to get some touches, but he's not the guy. Zach Stacy is the guy. And I actually kind of I think it was a good thing because Zach Stacy got a little beat up last year because he was such a huge part of that offense. Because he really didn't play much the first few games, and then so when you're looking at his numbers and you're like, oh, but he wasn't a top 10 guy. He didn't really play the first part of the season, and then he was this powerhouse, and he got hurt a lot. So I like the fact they're going to have somebody to give him some breathers to come in. I think it's going to work out best for everybody, but he's still going to get you 20 touches a game. He's still going to get at least that.
Yeah,
I like him. I like him a lot. I don't recommend the Austin or Britt, though. They'll just frustrate you. Unless you get him low. We're talking like Brian Hartline frustration here. No one wants that. No one wants that.
Can I get a heartbeat? No.
No. And then Rams D. Do not forget the Rams D. They are a legit D. Basically the entire NFC West is really maybe the best defense, I think.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe. Yeah. Is that even like a debate?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, they were 7th last year. We got them ranked 6th, so we're keeping them in kind of that same little slot that they're in. What's great about them is that there's not a whole lot of points scored when they play each other because it's such a defensive showdown that is good for you because that means they're not going to have all these offensive weapons coming in, knocking points off your defense. So it's good for you that they're actually, because it's really low-scoring games. So Rams D, they're legit. I know the Rams don't seem legit, but the Rams D is definitely someone you want to pick up.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. I like
Same
it.
thing with the 49ers. Another amazing defense.
Yes, and I'm not going to speak about them at all. To me, it's assumed. I don't know what that voice is, but yeah. So, Michael Crabtree, always on the injury list. Man, get away. He's out for a week or two. As per Jim Harbaugh, no real details, but the coach said it's not foot or Achilles related. He's been dishonest before, so I have nothing to say about that. Supposedly, though, it's a sore hamstring. But anyway, he missed 11 games last year, so most people, think that they're just being cautious about this hamstring thing, so hopefully this all works out. It was an Achilles last year, so at least we know it wasn't hamstring last year. But he's still kind of risky. Running backs, I'm just going to list these little sad injuries. It's very sad. So Kendall Hunter, definition of the handcuff, his entire career, great player, tore his ACL. He tore his Achilles in 2012. It's just a big bummer. So best of luck to him. LaMichael James, running back, dislocated his elbow for the 3rd time. Ouch. Sounds like my shoulder.
So bad.
Yeah, not good. They think he'll be back by week 1.
Really?
Yeah, I think so, Michael James. I mean, you're still not going to draft him because he's such a deep handcuff. But Marcus Lattimore, running back, still not practicing, dealing with some hamstring issues, still rehabbing from his knee surgery, major knee surgeries. Don't draft even deep leagues. People are going to talk about his talent, but no. It's sad. The knee injuries are epic. So it's
unless you're Adrian Peterson, and then they're child's play.
I guess.
Yeah.
If you're like a robot, it's fine.
Yeah, then you're fine.
So what this means, though, is that Frank Gore is like even more draftable, and you can get him so cheap. It's just crazy. You guys, he's not going away. He's not going away.
What is it with the complete disrespect of Frank Gore?
I don't know. And, well, he's over 30. He's getting older. I get it.
He always finishes in the top 10.
I watched that Hall of Fame game, and I was like, why is Fred Jackson the fittest-looking guy on the field? You guys, he's so
it's
fit.
True.
He's like
really
and I'm like, who is this guy? He looks like he's a rookie. Anyway, Frank Gore is not quite built the same way as Fred Jackson, so I'm not saying. Slightly different is what we're going to call it. But still, he's the guy, and Carlos Hyde is his handcuff. End discussion. So I also have a tough time getting excited about Colin Kaepernick. In week 5, he only completed 6 passes for the entire game.
I could complete 6 passes in a game.
You guys, it's scary. I know everyone loves him, and I just want to. I'm not saying don't draft him. I'm just saying you need to then draft someone immediately afterwards, just in case those games happen. He plays in a very difficult division. It's tough stuff. There were only 2 games where he had more than 300 yards. It was week 1 and week 17.
Ooh.
It's not going to help you. It's not going to help you. So he only rushed for over 30 yards in 5 games. So don't even tell me that it's the rushing that's going to make it up. Because 30 yards is 3 points.
I just can't even talk about him.
Tons of talent, but it's just so risky. He's the definition of risky.
Yeah, boom or bust. He's the definition of boom or bust kind of player. You know,
It's tough. So, and without Crabtree, I would be nervous. However, Anquan Bolden, I'm going to call sleeper.
I love him.
You guys, he's going number 40 out of all wide receivers, 109 overall for his ADP based off Fantasy Pro numbers, which kind of averages all of the different sites. And listen, not bad. Not bad for his value because he's had over 1,000 receiving yards 6 times in his career. Not only once since 2010, but,
And the guy played with a broken face with his mouth wired shut.
He's amazing.
That's hard. That's hardcore.
Stevie Johnson, emotional pick. He only had 597 yards last year, being the only guy who catches balls. So,
but I love him. I love him.
I know. I love him too, but let's just be real. And Vernon Davis, stop it.
That's how you do me.
Right. Well, I'm sad, but I have to do that.
I have to do it. I have to.
Vernon Davis. Okay, listen. You're gonna listen to other podcasts. I get it. We're all doing fantasy research. They're gonna tell you Vernon Davis. He's gonna be a bust this year. Okay, sure. He would be a bust if he was a wide receiver, but he's a tight end, and they're all busts. So out of all of them,
newsflash,
he is one of the top guys. Stop it. He is going after Rob Gronkowski and Julius Thomas and Jimmy Graham, and that's where he should go. But don't tell me you're going to draft Zach Ertz over him. Just don't do it.
No.
Too unsure. Crazy. Even Kyle Rudolph, which I'm with you, Courtney. I'm totally with you. Just, you guys, he's a proven guy.
Right. Yes.
Especially the only ones you can... doesn't play. I mean,
especially if Crabtree doesn't play. You guys just don't. Okay, do I think he's going to have the same year that he did last year with 13 touchdowns?
No.
No. Okay, he's not going to do that. But he's still going to be better than almost every other tight end in the league.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Pick him up.
And
Get
the
him.
49ers.
Added the 49ers.
Phil Dawson's awesome.
Moving on to the Cardinals. Sad day. Another guy had to leave the game. Tight end Jake Ballard retired today. Oh, he was one of the tight ends I just didn't bother ranking. And here is why. Here is why. He has had problems with his knees since he played in the Super Bowl against New England when they won in 2011, and his body is just never been the same, you know. Yeah. And he's only 26 years old. It's sad. So sad. It's so sad. So he's throwing in the towel. He's like, you know what? Enough is enough. My body don't feel right. I can't play football. I don't blame him. I understand it's a tough game. So that's sad. Bye. Another one bites the dust. You know,
sensitivity at its highest right there.
Sorry. I do feel bad. It's awful. It really does stink, and he's young. But, you know, I wasn't a huge fan of
your overall health is so much more important than playing a football game.
Absolutely.
So they're making. I'd like to see them making good decisions.
That's right. Exactly.
Applause.
The number one person you're going to draft from Arizona, in my opinion, is the Arizona defense.
Woo!
Yes. Solid D.
They are the sure deal. I mean, ranked number 4. I love them. Ooh, yeah. We all know the cornerback Peterson got paid his money.
Big money.
Big money.
So.
Yeah, deservedly so. I mean, and it's going to be great. Now, I'm not excited the Broncos play them this year, but I am excited that the Arizona Cardinals are awesome. So, yay. But everybody else is okay on the offense this year, which is exciting. Andre Ellington, we have him ranked 11th. The coaches think that Ellington is going to be the backbone of the team, the workhorse, so which that means there's the likelihood he might get injured. Might want to handcuff yourself there. An oldie but a goodie, Larry Fitzgerald.
I would love to see him have a good year.
I want him to have a good year.
He's a classic.
He's a classic.
He's a legend,
Larry
of the NFL.
And overall, I feel like the Cardinals are the feel-good team this year.
They're a feel-good team.
I love Andre. I love Larry. Then we have Michael Floyd.
Breakout.
We ranked 20th. Yeah, last year he had over 1,000 yards, only 5 touchdowns, but it's all getting better. It's only getting better for the Cardinals. They play a very hard division, is what we talked about. All of these defenses are amazing, but I would be okay drafting them all. Now, I'd hold off on Carson Palmer, all right? We have him ranked 18th.
I was like, that's the one where you're like, wah.
We can wait on that, but he did average 13.5 points.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's not bad, especially for...
It's not good.
It's not great.
But for a bye week, if you really needed to, like,
yeah,
he had a low floor. You're right. I mean, he didn't only complete 6 passes in a game.
Right.
No, he threw for over 4,200 yards, which is a lot. It's just he had a lot of interceptions and not as many touchdowns. But I just feel like that's going to be different this year with Andre feeling good. Floyd, I think it's going to be a good year for Arizona. I'm excited about them.
Just pumped.
I am pumped.
Are we going to butt heads with our Rams and our Cardinals?
No, I like both.
No.
Anybody that can beat the 49ers and the Seahawks, I'm okay with.
True story.
Well, speaking of who didn't do that, I've got another drop. I went to the media day for the Super Bowl this year because it was in New York, which is where I live. And I got these little shot glasses that I'm sending to my family. Well, yeah, see, New York,
nice. Yeah.
and it's sad. It took me a while. Sad. I'm sending it with the trophy because I feel like I need better vibes in my home.
Good. So you're getting rid of the shot glasses and sending it to their home?
This is actually my version of voodoo. So I'm sending you guys shot glasses.
Shot glass voodoo. Good.
Yeah.
We appreciate you. Thanks.
You're welcome. Props. So, Pete Carroll continues to talk about how they're a run-first team, and I don't know why you wouldn't believe him. So that's why you should check your rankings and see where Russell Wilson is. Which, speaking of, remember me talking about elite status and what Drew Brees brings to the table? 10-plus games of 300 or more yards, what have you. Well, Wilson had 2 games over 300 yards last year.
Nice.
2. The year before that, 0.
Elite.
And don't tell me it's the rushes, because he got 1 rushing touchdown last year.
Oop.
It's potential, Brandon.
That's why it's complicated. But he won a Super Bowl. I respect the guy. I'm just not putting him on my fantasy team. I did that last year, he and Stephen Ridley, and neither of them have left the doghouse. So, Marshawn Lynch. That guy can be in my house. I'll make him dinner. I would make Marshawn Lynch dinner and say thank you.
Beast.
He's back from the holdout. It's fine. Don't worry about it. They gave him extra money. He's okay. Everyone's fine. And you know what? We don't know who the handcuff is yet between Robert Turbin and Christine Michaels. So just watch. I don't think it really matters.
Yeah, no one really gets on other than Marshawn. A couple plays.
Yeah. I'm noticing Doug Baldwin crawling up the ADP list, average draft position. So he was my sleeper of the year, but I have a feeling by the time most of you draft, he will not be. But that's okay because I enjoy him. So we got a ton of Twitter reaction because I did an interview actually with RotoViz. What day was that? It was last week, but they posted it a couple of days ago. Yeah, and so anyway, I had brought up the fact that, because they were asking me if I thought Eric Decker would be capable of a Percy Harvin season, and I was like, well, Percy Harvin's never gone over 1,000 receiving yards, and Eric Decker has done that numerous times. So yes, I think he's capable. So,
in fact, more than capable. The question is Percy Harvin capable of a Eric Decker? I will even say a Jets Eric Decker season.
Yeah,
I'm just I can't. Exactly. So I think tons of talent, but he's actually gone down the ranks. I've noticed with almost all the websites. I think everyone's just kind of pumping the brakes a little, like, oh, maybe because you know what? Would you really trust him with your wide receiver 1?
No, never. What a waste of a draft pick.
Or even your wide receiver 2, you'd be like, this is a stretch.
I've taken wide receiver 3.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. But I can't in good conscience tell you to go for it. So, Simadana, okay? Simadana. An example of camp hype, I just, Google, Seattle training camp news. That's, I just want to make sure that I have the news and make sure no one's hurt or whatever. And I get the first thing that's all over the place is about Luke Wilson, the tight end behind Zach Miller, who we barely have ranked. And they're like, no, this guy's having a strong camp. We're going to talk about this guy big time. And I'm like, wow.
Why?
This is what I'm talking about, you guys. Camp hype, perfect example. He scored 1 TD all season long. He caught
probably under 300 yards, probably.
Yeah. He only caught 3 or more passes twice last year. But he's the #1 story when you Google Seattle training camp. So this is why this show is a little wacky, because there's nothing to talk about, you guys. We haven't seen them play. We don't know who's the starter. It's so exciting that now we're actually going to get content that we haven't had since January. Because that's really what we're all working with, right? So anyway, the good news is that, most people are okay going into Seattle, and I think that's, great. And congratulations, Super Bowl champs.
Congrats.
Yeah, you should send your shot glasses to them. That's what you should do.
Absolutely.
Send your voodoo somewhere else. I don't need more bad vibes.
I am not a shot glass person, but everything was so expensive at this media day. It was like everything was like $100, and I was like, I can't possibly. So I just searched for like the cheapest thing I could find. I think these were still like $20, and I was like, it's like I'm buying 4. That's $80. It's just. But imagine me buying 4 like $100 items. No go. So anyway, you're gonna get shot glasses and a thing of pins.
Pins?
Yeah, little needles. Just gonna save the time.
Save the time. No. You should hide them within the wrapping paper, so when we open it, we just get
pricked.
Yeah. It'll be good.
This is gonna be part of our draft.
We're such a loving family.
Yeah. Send people terrible things in the mail, and don't get arrested. You're welcome.
Yes. Very important rules, drafting. And to get the people a little boozy.
No boozy.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, this was a fun show, ladies. Thanks for talking some NFC with us. This is good. This was good. Hey, everybody's drafts are coming up. It's an exciting time in the land of football. Yay.
All happening.
Lots of games this week. Enjoy yourself. Take some time to hop over to herfantasyfootball.com and iTunes. Give us some nice rankings, please.
Thank you.
Thank you ahead of time. Also, catch us on Twitter at herfantasyfb. Until next time, no more faking it.